What's going on, my Central Units? It's the Central here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. Last month marks the 20th anniversary of a show I'm going to talk about right now. That is Unforgiven 2004. So this show was at the Rose Garden. Right now it's called the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon on the 12th of September 2004. The attendance of the show was 10,000. Unforgiven 2004 drew about 239,000 pay-per-view buys, a downgrade than the 2003 installment of Unforgiven. The main event of that show was Triple H versus Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg won it. Also on that same show you had JR and the King taking on Al Snow and the Coach. Unforgiven 2003 drew about 360,000 pay-per-view buys. Like the 2003 installment, the 2004 installment of Unforgiven is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. The commentators for Unforgiven 2004, we got JR and the King. So, like I said, last month marks the 20th anniversary of Unforgiven 2004. That is memorable for the end of Randy Orton's run as the youngest World Heavyweight Champion. I'll get to more of that later on. You had the really good ladder match between Chris Jericho versus Christian for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. We'll get to more of that later on. And also, this is the first WWE pay-per-view held in the state of Oregon. Wow. Maybe they did like Raw and SmackDowns over the years, but not an actual pay-per-view. That was cool. That was like, wow, that's a good stat, you know. This show is the first pay-per-view in the state of Oregon, in Portland. So next time they do a pay-per-view in the state of Oregon, you know, actually in Portland, will be No Mercy 2008. You know, the highlight point of that show was Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels in the ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that was the final No Mercy of the first brand split in the company. So that was that's a fun. That was kind of like a fact. Anyway, let's do the quick result on Heat. On Heat, we got Maven defeat Rodney Mack with Jazz in his corner. That lasted about 4 minutes 42 seconds. Wow, Maven's kind of disappeared. You know, don't just spell Maven. You know, it's really fun how Maven, he was kind of like a jobber at this point. You know, it's funny that, you know, he went on to win the first Tough Enough. He kind of eliminated The Undertaker in the Royal Rumble 2002, in the Royal Rumble match, in his first appearance as a wrestler. And then all of a sudden win his first championship. That was the Hardcore title against The Undertaker. He had this mini feud with the Dead Man. And then all of a sudden, you know, he's kind of like a jobber. I think the one thing kind of held Maven down. I think it's one of the reasons that he always getting injured. You know, he's injury prone. I watch a lot of Maven's like YouTube videos. You know, go and check out on YouTube. It's Maven Huffman, and he kind of breaks down his time in WWE. You know, it's like, you know, I don't know, man, but let's move on to the first match to kick off the show. So anyway, the first match to kick off the show, we got Ric Flair and Batista of Evolution taking on Chris Benoit and William Regal. So both Regal and Benoit, they got like the big Evolution targets on their backs. You know, Benoit, you know, a month prior, you know, lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Randy Orton. You know, he kind of feud with Evolution for months now. Regal, the same. Because he was the caretaker of Eugene. He got a massive beat down by Triple H. You know, that was leading up to Eugene's match against Triple H at SummerSlam. So they're kind of still feuding with Evolution. So I don't know. That was the original rumor. I think the original match was supposed to be Regal and Eugene taking on Batista and Ric Flair, but instead, you know, Eugene got taken out by Triple H in a steel cage match. You know, I don't know. Basically, I think he was kayfabe injured or something. You know, it's a way to write him off because I think that the fans are getting sick of Eugene. You know, they don't like the Eugene character. I don't want to talk about it, but anyway, I think this match was good. A really good match. You know, Regal and Benoit teaming up against Flair and Batista. Batista was not quite the worker. He will end up becoming, a year later, winning the world title, becoming the face of SmackDown. You got like Flair, who's kind of like one-dimensional. That's what he is. He does the chops, taking down his opponent's legs, did the figure four leg lock, did the Flair flop, But like I said about Ric Flair, he's not known for his wrestling skills, but and you got like really good workers of Regal and Benoit. Kind of carried Dave to a good match, Like Regal and Benoit teaming up. That was cool. Regal wearing a singlet, very weird. He's mostly wear trunks, I think he wears singlet, in his final years as a wrestler, in that 2013 mark, yeah, it's very rare Regal wearing a singlet, Regal's like, he's never known for his physique, he's kind of fat. He's not known for, never like, I feel like one thing holding back, is his physique. I wish Regal just focus on losing weight, cutting down weight. It's just what it is, man. So anyway, it was a really good back and forth. Flair was over. Every time Flair does the Flair flop, the fans cheered. The funny part, he did the Flair chop. He was going for like tagging Batista, and he did the Flair flop. That's kind of funny. Anyway, so Batista, you can tell like they're building Batista on Batista up. My apologies, building Batista up. Like I said, still green, but one more of the match, you had Benoit locking the figure four leg lock onto not figure four leg lock. My apologies. The cripple crossface. Sorry, the cripple crossface onto Flair, and Batista picked Benoit up and slammed him like a child. That was cool. Anyway, so yeah, they were ganging up on Regal a little bit. Flair locking the figure four leg lock onto Regal. Anyway, I think he managed to reach the ropes. Stopping the like typical things, like typical tag team wrestling. Heels ganging up on the baby faces, and then the baby faces, do the hot tag. Anyway, so in the end, you had you had Regal kind of send Batista through the barricade. I think he sent him through the ring post, but anyway, so, and also Flair and Batista had not Flair and Batista, Flair and Benoit, they had the chop off, I don't think that it's very funny. They never bring up that time with the Horsemen, because Flair and Benoit were part of the Horsemen in the 90s in WCW, but they never bring it up. It's very weird. So anyway, they did that chop off. So in the end, Benoit managed to lock in the cripple crossface onto Ric Flair for the win. I think it's for the best. Glad Batista didn't like tap out. Because they're building Batista up. Flair at this moment in time, he's a living legend now. He's an established star. Don't need the win. So anyway, but Benoit, Regal got the victory. So that was a good way. Yeah, it was really a good way to kick off the pay-per-view. It didn't. I checked the timing of this match. It got really good time. It got like 15 minutes. That was cool. So anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is I think it's the first of 3 championship matches on this show. Yeah, this is for the Women's Championship, the WWE Women's Championship, the original championship. I think it was the black or green belt. Trish Stratus with Tyson Tonko defend the belt against Victoria. It's really funny. Trish won the belt. Yeah, the last pay-per-view I review on this channel was Bad Blood 2004. Trish beat Victoria in I think it was a fatal 4-way match. It was Trish, Lita. It was Victoria, Trish, Lita, and Gail Kim. That was a shocking win. And then months later, at SummerSlam, they had the dodgeball match against the contestants of Diva Search. So yeah, after this match, you had Trish and Victoria, butting heads. So this is they set up this match on the show. Before we get to the actual match, you had this segment between Christian and Trish, who gets Tonko. You had making Tonko decide, and then Trish kind of like flirt with Tonko, really flirt, stroking his beard, flirting with him, whispering in his ear, and then and Christian says, she is a slut. No, I don't think Trish is a slut. People like Trish as a classy woman. People say, people like refer Stephanie. Trying to get my words out. Stephanie McMahon as a slut. Later briefly as a slut. The stuff with having an affair with Matt Hardy, with Edge behind Matt Hardy's back. But yeah, I don't see Trish as a slut. It's just what it is. So anyway, I think like Tonka was banned from ringside. That could be the reason. So anyway, the match between Trish and Victoria for the championship, it was an okay match. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. I think they had bad matches before this. I think they kind of like run its course. They feuded in 2002, revolve around it were both fitness models trying to get into the business, wrestling business. Trish like used her politics to push Victoria out, to become a wrestler, and then she got signed. The other match in 2002, the other match in 2003, and now in 2004, another match. Yeah, they kind of ran its course at this moment in time, It wasn't a flat. It's basically sizzle, no steak. I'm trying to describe it, Anyway, so one more of the match, I think like Victoria's going like a move up the top rope or something, and Tonko kind of picked up Trish, moved her out of the way. So yeah, Tonko did not interfere a lot, But one more of them at the end of this match, you had Victoria hit the crossbody off the ropes onto Tonko, and Tonko did not sell the crossbody, and then Tonko kind of chased after Victoria, and then in the end, Trish hit the Stratisfaction, that's the Bulldog, for the win to retain the championship. So, and afterwards, Tonko kind of grabbed the Victoria, about to probably double choke slam her, double-handed choke slam her. Out come this mysterious woman. I forgot to mention, for weeks now, you had the mysterious woman in drag saving Victoria from this you could say beat down by Tonko, but and they found out, and spoiler, that is Stevie Richards in drag, attacking Trish, helping Victoria. So yeah, they were trying Stevie, and then you got Tonko grabbing the mic, calling this a person a hermaphrodite, and challenged this mysterious person to a match, and now we got it. Now we got Stevie Richards in drag taking on Tyson Tonko. This match sucked. It's funny, like, the last Tyson Tonko match I cover on this channel was his match against Jericho at Bad Blood. That was in June. Fast forward in September, night and day. At least with Jericho got the best out of Tonko, even though it was an okay match for 5 minutes. But this match sucked. I checked the timing of this match. It was 6 minutes, 24 seconds. It didn't feel like 6 minutes to me. It felt like more like 10 minutes. You had basically Tonko beating the crap out of Stevie for the whole bulk of the match. Yeah, Stevie had some moments, grabbing Tonko by the balls with the tactical claw. But that's it. That's it. Tonko removing the wig. The wig, it was like an orange wig. The mysterious woman had ginger hair, and you had ripping Stevie's like shoes. He's wearing like a cardigan, a skirt, and shoes. They look like paper. I'm guessing like he's got like putting paper. Stevie's wearing like a bra, probably wearing a bra, and put paper, probably tissue paper around the bra. Look like she's got, he's got tits. That's kind of I don't want to get into that. Like Tonko shoving paper into Stevie's mouth. But I'm trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, Tonko hit like I don't know what it's called. It's basically like in the position of a backbreaker. I'm guessing like it was a helicopter net breaker. I don't know what it's called. So Tonko got the victory. Thank God. Some people consider this match the worst match of 2004. Hard to say. Yeah, probably. But this match should be on Raw. This is a Raw match, not on a pay-per-view at the time. You spend a lot of money. why could this done this on Raw? Beats me. It just kills some time. Anyway, so yeah, after that, Trish moved on to her feud with Lita. They fought for the championship. Lita, went on to win the title at the end of the year. Trish regaining it, and ended up that was in 2005, I think, and then Trish went on to hold that belt until dropping the belt to Mickie James at Mania 22 in 2006. In her 5th run as women's champion, Trish was injured. Injured her hand. She barely defended the title, so it's just what it is. So let's move on to the next match. After this bad match, we got one. This is considered to be the match of the night. This is a ladder match for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. Chris Jericho taking on Christian. I think it was the original plan. Maybe it was. I don't know what the original plan. I think it was a triple threat match. A triple threat ladder match. I think the original plan was supposed to be Edge versus Jericho for the championship, but instead Edge faked the title due to a groin injury. So Christian just came back from injury. We'll get some more of that. He got injured in the match against Jericho in a steel cage match. And then injured his back. He's back now, and then. There was a segment, between Bischoff, Jericho, and Christian. Jericho, and Christian say he doesn't want a steel cage match. Suddenly, but you had Bischoff announce the match for the vacant Intercontinental Championship match will be a ladder match. And Christian says, how about make it a no count match? And the fans booed. No, they shouted boo, boo-yah, they thought you liked this match, Christian, it's funny, compare Christian from 2024 to Christian 20 years ago. Yeah, Christian, back then was a sleazy heel. Right now, he's kind of, doing this stuff, mentioning dead fathers, Christian is really hot at this moment in time. That's got to be Christian's best heel run in his career, the stuff with, the patriarchy, that's another story for another time. So, anyway, the match between Jericho and Christian, like I said, match of the night. They got really good timing. I wish they got more time. It's 22 minutes. I wish they got 30 minutes. They told a great story. Christian it's between him, Edge, or Jeff Hardy. Who is the master of the ladder match. It was really good back and forth match between both guys. Jericho injured his tailbone in this match. He I think it was a ladder spot. I think he took I think he did a spot off the ladder, and he ended up slap. I can't remember what spot. I'm guessing fell off the ladder. It was a bad bump, and he injured his tailbone, but he kind of still continued. Christian kind of bumped his ass off, I feel Jericho body drop him off the ropes onto the floor, the fight in the crowd. Christian hit the unprettier onto Jericho onto the floor, Some good fucking bumps, man. I think it was one more in the match, Jericho's leg was caught on the ladder, and then Christian did a back body, was it a baseball sliding drop kick, It was move by move, man. It's really good. They did they did the bulldog, Jericho bulldog Christian off the ladder. And then I think Jericho did the walls of Jericho. He kind of locking the walls of Jericho onto Christian. It didn't feel like he's locking the walls of Jericho. It looks like the tarantula. I think it's a callback to Jericho's match against Benoit in the ladder match at the Royal Rumble in 2001, 3 years earlier. So, anyway, yeah, I think it's it's out of their rivalry, between Jericho and Christian. I think this has got to be rivalry of 2004. One of the rivalries of 2004. I think I'm gonna say I think this rivalry between Jericho and Christian kind of fizzle out. I think there's stuff between. I forgot to mention this earlier. I'm gonna mention it right now. I think this storyline between Christian and Trish, I think it's just fizzle out anyway, because first off, Christian got hurt, injured his back, and I don't think they're totally going with this. Having Christian and Trish, having sex. They're now boyfriend and girlfriend. It's really started the beginning of the year. It's actually at the end of 2003. Jericho and Christian. They did this bet. They did this bet for $1 Canadian who have sex with Trish or Lita. They had the match. They had the Battle of the Sexes match at Armageddon. Then you had Trish and Jericho. Having like feelings to each other, and then Christian's been the odd friend. Attacking Trish, locking the walls of Jericho. Set up the match at Mania 20, and then they had a really good follow up at Backlash, and now this. I think the ladder match was. I'm gonna rank it. This is my ranking of the Jericho Christian matches. This match at Unforgiven 2004, that match at WrestleMania 20. That led up to Trish turning heel, turning on Chris Jericho, and also the handicap match at Backlash. I think that they kind of fizzle out. Trish was doing her own thing, and Christian ended up hang around with Tonko. For the route throughout 2004 and then 2005. They both left the company in 2005. And they kind of reunited, years later in TNA. But anyway, let's get back to the rest of this match. True. So in the end, I think Jericho climbed the tallest ladder to win this match and become a 7-time Intercontinental Champion. I think it's the first time he had the belt since I think it was like 2000. I'm guessing around 2002. 2001, 2002. It's been a long time since Jericho held the belt. It'd be fine. It'd be fine. Christian won the belt. I know he won the belt the previous year, but I feel like it'd be cool. I think like it's a big deal for Jericho becoming the 7-time champion. Like it's a big deal. Jericho's been in the company for like 5 years at this moment in time. Debuted in August of 1999. His first championship was the Intercontinental title. I think he won at Survivor Series from 1999 against China. And then he won 6 more titles until this match at Unforgiven 2004. He ended up winning, I think it was 2 or 3 more times. His last one, in WWE was in 2009 against Rey Mysterio. I think it was at Extreme Rules. Yeah, he went on to win the Intercontinental title, in I think it was 15 years later or 14 years later in New Japan against Naito. I feel like it was the right choice. Yeah, he ended up dropping the belt to not Mr. I'll get to that part shortly. He ended up dropping the belt to Shelton Benjamin at Taboo Tuesday the following month. So yeah, it's just what it is. And then after that, Edge come along, clapping, wearing a goatee, he's kind of leaning heelish, I'm guessing, I think the original plan, if Edge stay, Edge ended up turning heel the following month at Taboo Tuesday, turn on Benoit, cost Shawn the championship, I got me thinking, if Edge didn't got hurt, I think he'll probably turn heel on Jericho anyway, that would be a good rivalry, they had the rivalry back in 2002, but it'd be cool, they do a renewed rivalry, this time the roles has reversed. But, I think Edge's run as a babyface is getting stale. He got booed, at SummerSlam in his home country of Canada, in Toronto. But I don't know what's the original plan. I think it'd be cool if they did a triple threat match. Revolve around 3 greatest, one of the best 3 Canadian wrestlers of all time: Jericho, Edge, and Christian. Like in the Mount Rushmore, I know I'm rambling trying to get my point across. Like I feel like in the Mount Rushmore of Canadian wrestlers, it's gotta be Bret, Jericho, Edge, Christian. I'm gonna say Trish Stratus. They came from I think Canada's a good hotbeds of Canadian wrestlers. They're kind of like being in legendary matches over the years. And they became living legends. So anyway, let's move on to the next match. It was really good. I think Christian and Jericho, had really some, good chemistry. They got some good chemistry, and you can say this is the end of their rivalry. Even though the rivalry kind of fizzled out, like I said, Christian got hurt. Like I said, Jericho suffered a tailbone injury in this match. He ended up still wrestle. He didn't take some time off. He's still wrestling until he left the company the following year. Take some time off from wrestling. So it's the end of the Jericho Christian rivalry, and next time they kind of interact will be in 2005, a year later, in the triple threat match for the WWE Championship at Vengeance '05 between Cena, Jericho, and Christian. It's funny right now, they could do a match down the road because both of them are now currently in AEW, but I think the time is running out because both Christian and Chris Jericho are in their 50s. They gotta do it pretty fast. So yeah, I think the ladder match is match of the night. And also there was a video package of of Shelton Benjamin. It's a shame they could do a triple threat. I think it would be cool if they did a fatal four-way match a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Edge, Jericho, Christian, and Shelton Benjamin. But Benjamin could thrive in a ladder match, in the first Monday Night ladder match at WrestleMania the following year. So it's just what it is, man. Yeah, that is a video package of Shelton Benjamin coming back as Mr. Benjamin. That is really a shit nickname. I'm glad they dropped it. So anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got Shawn Michaels taking on Kane with Lita in his corner. This is a no DQ match. This is Shawn's first match since the Hell in a Cell match in June. And then the night after Bad Blood. I'm talking about the Raw after Bad Blood. The teasing like Triple H and Shawn Michaels gonna bury the hatchet. The no longer enemies. Then suddenly it's a swerve. Kane attacks Shawn Michaels. Place a chair around his head, and end up basically injured his throat. Shawn's cough out blood. Kane was in this relationship, kayfabe relationship with Lita. Kane had a feud with Matt Hardy. They're doing this force. I think they're doing this rape storyline. I'm glad it's so. I don't want to get into that. Basically Kane forced sex on Lita. Kane is the father of Lita's baby. They got married after, they ran off Matt Hardy off the storylines because of the knee injury after the Death to Part match at SummerSlam. So anyway, the wedding gift for Kane is a match at Unforgiven against also he had Kane threatened Lita, threatened to miscarried the baby. I don't want to get into that, but anyway, so yeah, the wedding gift is a match for Kane is a match against Shawn Michaels. I think it's the first match they had. It's funny, when Kane made his debut in 1997, Shawn was kind of like on his way out because Shawn had an injury, his career back injury, took 4 years off his career. So yeah, they never interact. This is the first match, on paper. I think this was a really good match between Shawn Michaels and Kane, It's a monster versus mortal match, Kane is this monster, this unbeatable monster, the Jacob Goodnight character, evil character, creature, monster, whatever you call. And Shawn Michaels is the scrappy mortal human. This was good. It was a good back and forth match, Shawn bled, and also this is the match when Shawn suffered an eye injury. Had the lazy eye. I thought he got that eye injury, the lazy eye, in his feud with Chris Jericho 4 years later. When Jericho throws Shawn into the the Jerrytron 5000 or 8000, whatever you called, that caused to mess up his eye. But this match, Shawn Michaels had the lazy eye. Anyway, so Kane I think he chokeslam or powerbomb Shawn through the announce table. It's a good back and forth. You had Lita again in the face of Kane. Doing this rape storyline. I'm not saying Kane completely raped Lita. That's fucking Vince McMahon doing this shit. I don't want to get into that. So, forcing sex on Leah, and then they got married, and they'll never fly this storyline today, because you don't want to do that, you end up like pissing off, you end up pissing off the viewers. But anyway, so we'll try to keep it short and simple. So in the end, Kane trying to hit Shawn with the chair. I don't think the chair was used, but Lita grabbed the chair, stopping Kane for using it. So in the end, Kane was going for the chokeslam. Shawn hit the switch of music, rolled up Kane for the win. And afterwards, it's Shawn kissing Lita by the hand. And I wish they'd just end the storyline between Kane and Lita anyway. And the following month, I think this is leading up to the debut of Jin Snitsky. Snitsky caused the miscarriage, and they had the match at Taboo Tuesday. I wish they'd never done that, man. I think Kane was doing his best work, and I think this storyline between this rivalry between Snitsky and Kane didn't do them any favors, I think people want to see Lita turn on Kane and end it, but you end up like Kane and Lita kind of work together. They're no longer feuding, even though they're kind of like on the same page, until you had Leah turn on Kane, because of the whole situation between her and Matt Hardy. I don't want to get into that, I don't want to like beat the dead horse around it, but I wish they end the storyline like. Just fans want to see Leah turn on Kane, and that was it. It's just what it is. They continue the storyline. Like I said, Snitsky, I think he bumped Kane into Lita. Lita miscarriage. She was catatonic, and then they had this rivalry for months now. It's just like, holy shit. Let's move on, man. I don't want to like going on about it. So. Anyway, so the next match, this is for the World Tag Team Championships. La Resistance, Sylvain Grenier and Robert Conway. I'll call him Rob Conway. Defending the belts against Tajiri and Rhino. Former ECW alumnis. They used to be part of ECW. Anyway, before this match, you had Grenier singing the Canadian national anthem in his native French. That pissed off the fans. And then Tajiri and Rhino interrupt. So, anyway, this match, I feel like there's no build. This is a TV wrestling match, not a pay-per-view wrestling match you see on a pay-per-view at the time you spend a lot of money. Anyway, it only lasted about 9 minutes, didn't shit the bed, didn't outstay its welcome. Trying to keep it short and simple, folks. In the end, I think Rhino hit, I think it was the Grenier or Conway. One of them placed one of the foot on the ropes. I think it was Conway or Grenier did that, but in the end, I think I think the dark hair one is Sylvain Grenier. He hit Rhino with the flag, I think it's the Quebec flag, the French Canadian flag. Hit the flag onto Rhino to win this match, and La Resistance remain as the tag team champions. Yeah, very underrated group. It's very underrated tag team. It's over the years they did three French Canadian tag teams. You got like the Rougeos, Jacques and Raymond. I think you had the Quebecers. I think it was Raymond or Jacques teaming up with Carl Roulette. That's the future PTO. Right now in TNA. And now we got La Resistance. I think it's the first version of it. I think it was Grenier and Rene Dupree with Rob Conway as the French Canadian or the French sympathizer, and then the second version of that group is Grenier and Conway. Wow, that rhymes. So very underrated in my opinion. So they end up dropping the. It's funny. I think they end up dropping the belts to Benoit and Edge. I think it was at Taboo Tuesday. Like the division on Raw is a bit weak. It's just basically transformational hybrid tag teams. Basically pair for no reason. They never have an established tag team division for years now, since the days of the Attitude Era. So anyway, I'm trying to check Wikipedia. Let's see. Ooh, ooh. Is that the wait? That's I can't see it. I can't tell. I can't. Ah, so moving on. Yeah, they had the dropping the belts. Yeah, it was the following month. I think the following month, Edge and Benoit, normal Canadians. They're from the other parts of Canada. Will take out. They defeat the French Canadians, at Taboo Tuesday, and then they won the tag team belts back. I think they dropped the belts to Regal and Eugene. I might be wrong about this. So, and I don't want to get into it. So let's move on to the main event. So the main event, this is for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history, Randy Orton, defended the belt against Triple H. At SummerSlam, Randy Orton defeat Chris Benoit for the championship. Becoming the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history. And then the next night on Raw, you had before Triple H is putting over Orton that well. Said, what, and basically putting over do you know what it means becoming the youngest world champion in history? You had this segment on Raw. It's gonna be one of the top 10 or top 20, probably the top 20 best Raw moments of history. You had Triple H, give Randy Orton the thumbs up, thumbs down. You had Triple H kick Orton out of Evolution, beam down Randy Orton, blooding him up, and then you had this the following week. The only reason why Randy Orton got kicked out of the group because Triple H is so obsessed of becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. Grabbing that brass ring instead of elevating him. He's basically just I want the world title back. Keeping the status quo. So anyway, you had this segment. You had Randy Orton spit in the face of Triple H. That was cool. You had Triple H. Said to Orton, hand me that World Heavyweight Championship. You thought Orton's going to give Triple H the world title belt, but instead he spits in his face. That was cool. Yeah, cheap heat, whatever. That was cool. You had Orton, Triple H Orton. It's he came out with the Evolution. That was the last time Orton came out with the Evolution theme music. He entered this pay-per-view with his new theme music, Burn Out My Light. That is a good theme music. I'll get to more of that later on. So anyway, you had chasing Evolution members with the sledgehammer. The funny part, he ended up dropping it. There was a segment on Raw, dropping the sledgehammer onto Eric Bischoff's foot. That was kind of funny. So yeah, I don't want to get in more in details of it. It'd be a very long video, but I think it was on point, but yeah, I think after that, they kind of kibotched this, face him for Randy Orton, I'll get to more of this, later on, but, they did a good job, Orton, he, beat Benoit, got the handshake, Triple H turned on, turned on Randy Orton, kicked him out of Evolution, I think the fans want to see Orton beat Triple H, that is, I think people want to see that, but the match between Orton and Triple H, this is the first match they had, this is the first of this, you could say overrated rivalry. They kind of feud for the next 5 years, it's funny, Triple H's final match as a wrestler was against Randy Orton. That was during Orton's feud with The Fiend Bray Wyatt, leading up to their match Mania 37 in 2021. Anyway, so the match between Orton and Triple H, like I said, Orton came out, was it burning out my light or burning into my light? That was a good theme music. I like Orton. I like his theme music from, I think it was 2007 to 2008, and I Hear Voices in My Head. That is really good. Orton has some good theme music over the years. I know he briefly had the future CM Punk theme music. Not Cult of Personality, but I don't know what it's called. I can't remember, but write down in the comment section. But anyway, so the match was fine. Wrestled an okay, methodical match. You had Triple H. the early parts of the match, Orton like slapped him in the face, spit on him for the second time, and then Triple H working on the leg of Randy Orton. Locking. I think it was a drop hold Indian lock onto Orton's leg. He locked him with the figure four leg lock. Hebner. Caught Triple H. Holding the ropes to add leverage. He missed an opportunity, of Triple H, and Hebner, like Triple H has a lot of rivalries over the years, against Mankind, with The Rock, Austin, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, Batista, I think the number one I just put added to the list is against, Earl Hebner. You see the segments over the years, Triple H, Hebner, they go at it, putting each other, Hebner chewing down Triple H, squaring Triple H into the corner of the ropes, that's kind of like, funny, both Hebner and Triple H go through a lot of shit over the years, so, anyway, so there was, and you had one more of the match, he was going for the figure four leg lock again, or kind of like, kicked him, and kind of shoved Triple H through the ring post, and Triple H was bleeding, anyway, so, there was a referee bump, and then, this match was overbooked, it's not the worst main event, it's not the worst match of the night. The worst match of the night has to be Tyson Tunkel versus Stevie Richards, but this main event sucked in my opinion. It wrestled okay, and then it's got super overbooked, and the core conclusion, it's predictable that Triple H is winning, it's so predictable, so... Anyway, so there's a referee bump, out comes Flair, out comes Batista, Orton overcome that. Before that, you had Orton hit Triple H with the RKO, that was cool. And then, out comes members of Evolution, and then Triple H low blow, Randy Orton, out comes the coach. I was like, what the fuck? The coach? Really? No disrespect of Jonathan Coachman, why he's there? Unless Orton like done something to the coach, I don't want to get into that. So he came out wearing the referee shirt, trying to help Triple H win this match. Trying to do the 3 count when Triple H low blow Orton kicked out, and then you had Orton hit the coach with the RKO. He kind of threw both Batista and Flair out of the ring. In the end, Triple H hit the steel chair. He kind of dinks Randy Orton over the head with the chair, hit the pedigree, and that was it. I fucking knew. Wow. And then JR is just like angry, says, he stole the title, and then the one line kind of end the show for, he said for Triple H, they need free. They need to create They need to create 3 championship belts for Evolution. Because like JR, is Triple H credit over the years. I had Triple H, JR in Triple H enemy list over the years with Rock, Austin, Mankind, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Randy Orton, Earl Hebner, and now JR. They go through a lot of shit. Like JR breaking Jim Ross's arm, giving him pedigree multiple times, hitting him. I think like in 2005, Triple H, was in a match against Jim Ross. He had Triple H, beating the fuck out of him. So they also go through a lot of shit, man. But Orton winning the belt, man. It's basically what's the point of having Orton winning the belt at SummerSlam, knowing that he's gonna drop the belt to Triple H, because everyone knows the story. The original plan is supposed to have. They're gonna do the original plan for WrestleMania 21 in the main event was supposed to be Triple H versus Randy Orton, but they have to go with Triple H Batista because Batista was slowly, organically turning babyface, getting that fan support. I feel like there's also, I think there was a reason. There's rumors back in the day that, like, the only reason why Randy Orton became the youngest world champion because they're trying to like erase Brock Lesnar from the history books, because at the time Brock left the company on very bad terms. It's funny, like, Brock was the original youngest world champion at the age of 25 when he beat The Rock at SummerSlam 2002, and 2 years later, Orton broke that record. I think that's one of the reasons why Orton was the champion at a young age, because they're trying to rid Brock Lesnar from history, and he ended up like coming back, years later. But I feel like all the momentum Orton had was gone. He gained a lot of momentum, part of Evolution, let me think. He was the sole survivor of the Bischoff Austin match at Survivor Series 2003. He won his first championship in the company. I think his record still stands as the youngest Intercontinental Champion at the age of 23. He had the feud against Mick Foley. He had that really good match at Backlash, the no DQ match. And then also becoming the youngest world champion at SummerSlam, being Benoit. And now also he's dropping the belt to Triple H. I'd rather have Orton retain the belt on this show. And then you could probably have Orton dropping the belt the following month at Taboo Tuesday. I wish they'd never done Triple H Shawn Michaels. I think they kind of tarnished that ending at Bad Blood. It's just wow. I think like if because Orton ended up like winning the Survivor Series match in November. He ended up losing 2 pay-per-view matches. Lost the Elimination Chamber match at New Year's Revolution when the title was vacant, and then he lost the rematch to Triple H at the Royal Rumble. I think it's the time that the fans getting sick of Orton. I think he was out of nowhere. He was a heel the whole bulk of 2004, and then going into the second half of the year, he's turned babyface, and then in the start of 2005, he was at an afterthought. He ended up turning heel once again. RKOing Stacy Keibler, slapping the Undertaker's face. It set up their rivalry. I put the Randy Orton Undertaker rivalry as the rivalry of 2005. I might be wrong about this. I might do an update video of it in the future. But yeah, I think maybe at the time, maybe being the youngest champion is a burden. It's pressure. But maybe Orton, I think that Orton just don't have the chops. Maybe Orton didn't find his character yet. There's better reasons why it flopped. But I feel like, for months now, Triple H was on chase mode ever since he dropped the belt to Benoit at WrestleMania 20. Lost the rematch in the Triple Threat match. And then he lost the singles match against Benoit at Vengeance. They have Triple H getting away from the belt. You can't. You got to win the belt anyway. So I wish it'd be at Taboo Tuesday. But I don't know, man. I feel like it's so predictable by design. And it's funny. Like they end up feuding the next 5 years. In 2005, then in 2006. The whole DX versus rated RKO. In 2006 and the start of 2007 when Triple H got hurt. Then at the second half of the year when Randy Orton, it's funny at No Mercy, like Orton beat Triple H beat Orton as WWE champion, and Orton regained the belt the same night. The following 2008, they had that rivalry in 2009. Like I compared the same scenario as Orton losing to Triple H at Mania 25 in the main event. I feel like every time Orton gains some momentum, he end up like lose to Triple H, and the momentum is gone. I feel sorry, man, but it's just what it is, And on the bright side, maybe, they're putting the eggs in the Batista basket, because in the autumn of 2004, you had like Triple H, Batista butting heads, fan support's turning on, really growing on Batista to turn on Triple H, I don't know what his original plan. Maybe it'd be cool to have, did the double turn, Randy Orton as a heel, Triple H as babyface, Evolution members turn on Triple H, and Orton become the new member of the group. That'd be new leader of the group, That'll be cool, but I don't think it's gonna work. Triple H is a babyface, but it's just what it is, man. It's just like, I wish Orton, retain the belt, keep his momentum, but I think the momentum's gonna drop anyway. But I think yeah, I feel like this I think like I feel like yeah, because I want to beat Benoit at SummerSlam. Orton can do what Triple H failed to do. I think they should have done a triple threat match anyway. I wish Benoit did double duty on the show, compete in the tag team match with Regal, against Flair and Batista, and compete in the triple threat match on this show. That can make this match a lot bit better. But yeah, it's just what it is, man. It's just left the show, let the fans go on. My overall rating of Unforgiven 2004, I'm gonna give it 5.5 out of 10. I don't give it 6 out of 10 or 6.5. Yeah, I give it 5.5. Almost giving it 5 out of 10, but I'm gonna give it 5.5. Yeah, this is a subpar, bang average show. Not a terrible show, but not great. The 3 matches on the show was good. Is the opener, Benoit Regal versus Flair and Batista, Kane versus Shawn Michaels in the no DQ match, and also the match of the night was the ladder match between Chris Jericho and Christian. Besides that, in the OK, I'm gonna put is Trish versus Victoria. I think we've seen a lot of matches. I think it was done to death. The tag team title match on the show was just fine. Okay, TV match, but not on pay per view. I don't think there was any build, but the bad. I'm gonna put the horrible Stevie Richards versus Tyson Tonko match. The main event sucked in my opinion. It's just once again Triple H back in the world title scene. I forgot to mention this, but I'm gonna talk about anyway. 24 years of age. Wow, when Triple H won his first championship, his first world championship in WWE, he was about just turned 30. Flair won't win his first world title when he was about in his early 30s, and Batista won it in his mid 30s. So yeah, it's just what it is, man. It didn't really hurt Warren in the long run because he ended up bounce back, become a multiple-time world champion in the next decade and a half. He's currently on 15. He's just recently a month ago had that match against Gunther at Bash in Berlin. So yeah, it's just what it is. He end up Orton, people like or dislike Orton. It's something in the middle, man. Orton is okay worker. He's not everyone's cup of tea. So yeah, this show, I advise you watching the tag team match from the opener, Shawn Michaels Kane, and also that awesome ladder match. Besides that, I skip the rest of the show. On second thought, I'm going to change the score of giving this pay-per-view. I'm going to give Unforgiven 2004 a 5 out of 10. A massive drop-off from Bad Blood in June. Not a terrible show, not a great show. It's just an average show. So, what's your thoughts on Unforgiven 2004? Do you like this review? Please leave your thoughts on the comment section below. Smash the like button. Click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube, be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, let's give SmackDown some loving. In the same period, in the Ruthless Aggression era, this time we're going to travel back to 1 year to the year 2003. This show, we got Vince McMahon versus Stephanie McMahon in the father-daughter I Quit match. Also on that same show, you got Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker in a biker chain on a pole match. And also, we got John Cena versus Kurt Angle. Yep, the next show I'm going to review is No Mercy 2003. Until then, this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later, folks.